Welcome to the lesson on identifying waste. Upon completion of this lesson, learners will be able to define and explain key lean concepts such as Kaizen and value stream mapping. Learners will also examine the various components of value stream mapping, such as mapping the flow of material, mapping the flow of information, and creating timelines. Regardless of how good or bad a manufacturing process is, waste is always present in some shape or form. A completely waste-free process is unheard of, but creating a process as close to perfect as possible is a great goal. Lean manufacturing emphasizes the importance of continually pushing for perfection. When beginning a lean project, it is essential to thoroughly identify value-added activities and eliminate waste in the current state. Develop a clear and well-defined vision for the desired future state of the system. Kaizen and value stream mapping, abbreviated as VSM, are complementary lean tools. VSM identifies waste and improvement opportunities in processes, while Kaizen provides a continuous improvement methodology to address those identified issues. VSM is a diagnostic tool that helps identify where Kaizen efforts should focus to eliminate waste most effectively. We will discuss Kaizen and VSM in detail in the upcoming slides. The foundation of lean principles stems from this idea called Kaizen. Kaizen is a way-of-life philosophy used in lean that involves continual process improvement. This philosophy emphasizes that small, incremental changes made consistently can lead to significant improvements over time. Organizations that successfully implement Kaizen create a culture where employees can identify and suggest process improvements. VSM is a process mapping tool that identifies the current system's value of activities and wastes. It is a baseline for the system. A VSM maps every step from end to end in sequential order. VSM shows how a part flows through the system from raw material to the customer's hands, identifies relationships between the different steps in a process, and illustrates the wasteful steps. On average, over 90% of a product's manufacturing lifespan is spent on non-value-added activities. Reducing the time and resources spent on non-value-added activities is key in lean, and value stream mapping is a great way to get started. A VSM integrates three main components: a map of the material flow, a map of the information flow, and a timeline. We will discuss each component in detail in the upcoming slides. Mapping the flow of material is one of the main components of VSM. It involves four primary steps: selecting the product or product family, mapping the material flow process, creating a data box for each step, and mapping the process icons and data boxes. The first step in mapping the flow of material is to select the product or product family. The sequence of steps that each product follows determines the product families. Select a product or product family and clearly define both the product and the process being mapped. The second step is to map the material flow process. The team should make a detailed process map, which looks like a flow chart. The process map is based on the sequential flow, not the physical location of processes within the facility. Based on the function of each step, an icon is assigned to each activity, along with the value of the activity. A set of standard icons is shown in the figure. The third step is to create a data box for each step. Data boxes have different data based on the function of the step. The data measurements are based on the current system, not the should-be system. The fourth step is to map the process icons and data boxes. The process icons, their appropriate data boxes, and flow arrows make up the material flow portion of the value stream map. The figure shown here illustrates and explains VSM icons and data boxes. Now let us discuss the second component of VSM, which is mapping the flow of information. This component involves three primary steps: map the information flow, create a data box for each step, and combine the information flow map with the material flow map. The first step is to map the information flow. The information flow is mapped much like the material flow map. The steps are sequentially mapped, starting with the customer and working backwards through all information processing steps. An information processing step is any step that impacts planning, forecasting, lead times, and scheduling decisions. In many cases, the arrows used to connect the steps in the material flow map represent the flow of information. The second step is to create a data box for each step. Information regarding the type of Kanban, electronic or manual, the frequency of the information exchange, and any additional information is included in the data boxes. The third step is to combine the information flow map with the material flow map. The final component in VSM is creating a timeline. Add a square wave timeline to the combined flow maps. The elevated lengths of the square wave represent the time spent on value-added activities, and the lower lengths represent the time spent on non-value-added activities. The total time of each step should be marked on the timeline. The length of each wave segment should be drawn to match the length of the icon on the flow map because the segment length is not proportional to the time spent. The material flow map, information flow map, and timeline make up the completed value stream map. The VSM can now be analyzed for waste. Any non-value added steps, excessive inventory, and lengthy cycle times are improvement areas. Any value-added steps should be streamlined or improved. Analyzing the current state VSM also includes benchmarking and creating a target VSM. The figure here shows what a material flow map, information flow, and timeline might look like for a company that mills and paints parts for EVs. Parts enter the facility and are sent to inventory, where they sit for an average of 4 days. Then the parts are milled, which takes 6 to 8 hours, and so on. The longest non-value-added steps are for material handling. This step should be the focal point because they are non-value added. The milling process currently takes the longest processing time and needs to be streamlined to further reduce the overall production time. In summary, identifying the value-added activities and the wastes in the current system through value stream mapping is an important part of implementing the Kaizen philosophy. The three main components of the value stream map are a map of the material flow, map of the information flow, and a timeline. Several different tools, including value stream mapping, are used to implement the building blocks of Lean. Thank you.